Yo, 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 it's your man who did it this time. Coming at you with another episode of Reality Clips, but this is a sports reference. And you could actually add a little subtitle that this would follow under sports psychology. This is Reality Clips, and the title of it will be I Said I Was Hurt, Not Injured. Now, the reason why I chose this title, I Said I Was Hurt and Not Injured, was because the fall typically does something to my mood. The changing of the leaves, the smell of cut grass, playoff baseball, and if you're a follower or a fan of baseball, you understand that there's a thing called fall ball in some of our states up here in the north, or in our case, Appalachia. Kids that don't preferably play football or wrestle or soccer, they play a sport called fall ball, which is just baseball in the fall. Keeps the technicality of the sport they call baseball fresh. You know, you're like an oil machine all year round. You know, I always wonder if I would have played fall ball all the time, would I had taken a liking to baseball more than football and basketball? Because in a chronological order, I would probably say that my favorite sport growing up was basketball to watch, but to play would be football. And the most promising at times was baseball because of pitching and because of the hours spent with my father and my friend Rigga. A couple other cats, you know, we would get together and, you know, hit the ball back and forth, but I don't want to get sidetracked, man. I don't want to be vague. The fall typically does something to me. It refractures my soul. Now, if you're listening to this, you understand that we're in mid-August. So why am I already talking about the fall? I don't know about you all, but my children start school next week. Certain colleges are already back, you know, starting their traditional festivities before school actually starts. College football, I had a chance to drive by a campus the other day. I know Pitt's practicing, Robert Morris, so I assume some of the bigger universities are doing their two-a-days and they're ready to even scrimmage. My son will be scrimmaging this Saturday. So football's back. And when football comes back, it always hurts a little bit. Physically, there are pains and aches from playing from pee-wees to sandlot to recess, eventually high school and college for myself, but some of you all went a lot further. Semi-pro, Arena 1. I believe they even have football now in Europe, and some of you cats that might be subscribers, actually I know of one. You're playing in the one that's right below the NFL. There's the XFL and the CFL. So football tends to hurt, you know what I mean, on a physical level. But then there's the mental aspect of, do you really miss it? Did you really give your all? You have the what ifs, the hypotheticals that tend to seep into our head. Those of us who are taking time to coach the youth, sometimes we become nostalgic and we bring up lessons from the past that our coaches passed down to us. And it can become, pardon me, long-winded and drawn out, which is what I'm trying to avoid right now. So that's the mental aches and pains. But then there's the emotional side of things and the spiritual side of things, which is what we always like to touch on in these series. The master of the metaphor is what I like to call myself. And hey, if I don't toot my own horn, no one will listen sometimes. Football, the fall, makes me hurt, but it doesn't make me injured. And if anybody understands about when you're hurt, there comes that feeling of isolation. Sometimes being hurt can motivate you, give you gratefulness and thoughts of being great for when you become 100%. And then there are other dark times, dark periods, where being hurt can take you to a limit of almost believing that you're broken. which is what we are trying to avoid on the emotional aspect. There's different perspectives for different people, obviously. That's the whole thought process of bringing forth different people's perspectives. But being hurt spiritually and not broken brings joy to us who are believers, because we understand that there's a force, there's a negative force, there's a demonic spirit, a demonic energy that continues to beat at us, knock at our door, try to bring us down emotionally, spiritually, all the things I just talked about. If you didn't have that reminder that, hey, you can be weakened, you can be hurt, then you will walk around here arrogant. Now, we don't like to be pessimists or Debbie Downers. Pardon me. Coming in? Come on. Talking to my pup. We don't want to be Debbie Downers. We don't want to be pessimistic people where we harp on all the negativity that surrounds us. But when we look at how good God is, that's part of the gift, to understand that if the enemy isn't after you, if you're not having peaks and valleys in your life, sometimes then you're not really battling. Some of us need a war to always fight. You make up things, you give yourself an edge. Well, the only way to sometimes give yourself that edge is a reminder that you can be hurt. You can be hurt. You can be battered. You can be bruised. We're all men and women. So I say to you, for the title, you can be hurt, but you don't necessarily have to be broken, pardon me. I said I was hurt, not injured. And the reason why I give that title is because as of late, I've been finding myself repeating myself almost on autopilot. Hey, man, you hurt me. That hurt. This hurt. The other day I told my daughter, that hurt me when you did this. Not on no itch type stuff, if y'all know where I'm getting at. Because the most macho of men can admit that you've been hurt. You watch boxing. Just because you get hurt, that don't mean you lost the fight. And in this case, when I say you hurt me, that's just a reminder that, guess what? I'll be better the next time. I will practice prevention from here on out. I will make the weaker parts of my spiritual body stronger by allowing myself and humbling myself, saying that I can be hurt. That's a beautiful thing to admit that. And there's ways of practicing humility if that's your perspective of things. So I say to you on a sports psychology level, but using it in metaphoric banter or communication, pardon me. You can be hurt, man. I said I was hurt. I never said I was injured. And I'm going to leave y'all with that. If God got me, it's a wrap. So you can hurt me. You could throw little things at me. You could say things that are hurtful. My dog. You could say things that are hurtful. That ain't going to move nothing, man. It's temporary. And I say that because I do believe that with some of you subscribers who are in the belief, who are part of the known, who are part of God's kingdom, this is motivational. It's informational as well, and it's spiritual. So I apologize for the little hiatus. I had some things going on in my personal life, and I also had to refocus on my financial being as well as my occupational. Like, I needed to refocus and get ready for the next school season. So yeah, I'm hurt. Football will always bring up that what if and what didn't go right. The fall always makes me think of a new school year, new opportunities. The leaves start to turn, and the scary thing is we're only in August and I'm seeing certain colors change, but that's another video for another time. All right? So it's okay to be hurt, man. You don't have to be injured. We're going to keep battling this thing. And if you have to ask, what am I talking about? I'm talking about life. God is good all the time. Thank you for being patient with me. I hope you all are doing well. It's your man Who Did It. This is the series, Reality Clips. And I asked the question, who wants to keep competing with me? Peace.